But this will be controversial to some because they won't agree, but understand my logic here. The man who sleeps with another man but has a wife and children at home is a cheater. It's not a down low thing. He might have done something undercover, but it's not down low. To me, down low is stay out of my business. I don't got to tell you I'm gay because we get this too, in which we do not appreciate. Why didn't you tell me? I don't owe you my life story. I don't have to tell you. There has actually been people who did not know I was gay. So you asked earlier, I don't know if we got that on tape, but I actually was fortunate. My two pussies were really clean and really together, and I really liked them. And when I told my guys, my brothers and my straight friends, like what the experience was, they're like, ew, you ate pussy. It was like, it did this and it tastes like, I said, no, I didn't have none of that.
Well, that's the thing, because back then when we were growing up, eating pussy was not like the thing to do. That was actually that was something to be ashamed of, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Just like sucking dick is today in some sets. But some folks don't give a damn. They telling you what they're doing, when they're doing it, and how they're doing it. Okay. And they actually recording it, which is such a surprise.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah, we grew up different.
Yeah.
It was some things you were private about.
And that's also, actually, this is just off the top of my dome. Like the transition of growing up and being gay when you were young to being gay now.
Hell of a transition.
And what is that transition like?
That's where the pride comes in. That's where the confidence and the self-assurance comes in. Because now I have, growing up, I finally started to realize that I'm not alone and there are other people. So I had people to look to. And because some of the people that I really loved just naturally, I ended up finding out later were homosexual. And that's i.e. James Baldwin, Baynard Rustin. These were political minds of value. And like I fawned at their feet just as regular black men who had a message. And then to find out that they were gay. And they're not the cutest. So I said, at least I got that one up. I think I'm, somewhat of a looker. I have a chance here. But that they had a successful relationship with somebody. So yeah, that kind of helped. But there is a difference between young gay. Young gay was... and then again, because of the time, was very, very scary. It was about my safety first. My grandmother taught me very early. She made me say to myself, you got your church clothes, you got your play clothes. You got to know when to choose them. Got to know when to wear them. And that meaning you can be good at home, and when you're comfortable, not just home, but when you know you solid, be who you are. But you are going to have to go out in this world sometimes. You're going to have to put on them church clothes. You're going to have to put on a mask to keep yourself safe. It's not about denying who you are, but it's about getting home at night.
So what was your first college experience like when you're actually around other open gay men and gay women and we're coexisting? Like no one's ashamed of themselves anymore. Or were you the leader in that front?
I've always been the leader since young. And honestly, that wasn't really where my first interactions with gay people comfortable in themselves was. So again, when I tell you I grew up very rapidly, not for any dysfunction in my home, just because I was extremely inquisitive and a very, very, very precarious child. So I was grown in my mind in high school. So that's really where I found other gay people where it was like, okay, he's gay, he's kind of comfortable. But then those were always, like I say, the really flamboyant, really stereotypical gay, and I didn't identify with that. I was feminine. Don't get me wrong. I had blonde hair in high school. I wore purses, but I still didn't see myself as that feminine. These one was loud and crass, and everything out their mouth was gay. Everything out their mouth was gay, and that's just not me. That's a small part of a big, of a whole. I'm a whole. This gay shit is minuscule. It's who I like, living with and loving.
It's your preference.
It's a preference. Like, yeah, it's a preference of many preferences.
Mm-hmm. So do you feel like when you were in college and then like you're experiencing other people and being in this space, were you like merely making genuine friendships or other gay connections? Or do you feel like people were really against you and you kind of had to still even find yourself? This is just another battle that's added to the list.
I guess that's kind of simultaneous, because everybody in college is learning themselves, right? And we went to school out of state. I mean, you went to school out of country. You started off in, with your story coming into high school and from a whole different situation. So no, I was working on that, but then at the same time, I did have people that identified that were gay, that were immediately, within arm's reach on campus, and we did kind of bond, and I had to keep some of their secrets though too. So there were a lot of people, and Daniel, you know who I speak of.
Well, all right. Well, then let's go there then. Let's fucking talk about it then.
Okay. So
When was the first time you actually turned a straight man out?
well, then that would be in high school.
In high school?
Yes.
All right. And what was that experience like? And was that starting to become the norm for you when you even got to college?
No. And the one that happened in college, well, there was two.
There was two in college.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you find love in these situations?
I did not.
You did not find love. So that's another thing too. It's like if you're a gay man and you're intimate with a straight man, is that more of like a chase, or is it like I actually really genuinely have feelings for this man, or is it more just trying to prove something?
And I've never tried to prove. I can clear that up and answer that emphatically. It was never. And I have friends, and I know people who that is their whole mission. It's called flipping or turning. Am I correct? Just talking to my bestie over here to confirm the verbiage. But yeah, flipping or turning, whatever you call it. Some guys go out here and that's all they do. They're attracted to it. I'm not necessarily attracted to a guy who only identifies as straight. I'm fine, and I'm more so prefer someone who's bisexual, because that's okay. Yeah, I'm totally okay with that. Purely gay, or someone who is straight and is extremely curious. You can't be at the first stage of curious, like, what is that? You got to come in knowing some stuff. You got to touch some stuff and figured it out and looked on a website or something. The down low, let's distinguish that, because you said the thing about the family.
And
that's just a cheater.
And then
You're okay.
Yeah,
but this will be controversial to some because they won't agree. But understand my logic here. The man who sleeps with another man but has a wife and children at home is a cheater. It's not a down low thing. He might have done something undercover, but it's not down low. To me, down low is stay out of my business. I don't got to tell you I'm gay, because we get this too, in which we do not appreciate. Why didn't you tell me? I don't owe you my life story. I don't have to tell you. There has actually been people who did not know I was gay and then have told me that before, where they've met me. Maybe at the time I was more masculine in my look or my approach. And then when they do find out that I have, same sex loving relationships, they try to tell me that I should have told them, or I took too long to tell them. I don't owe you that. So if anything, that would, to me, in my mind, is a down low. So it's semantics.
But that's good to know, because why are we making it more of like, this is...
It's because it's a man. So it's like really bad. Girl, he's a cheater. Leave him alone. And then what kills me about women is like they'll say stuff where, because I have girlfriends, plenty girlfriends. They'll say things like, although most of my friends are straight males, and we can get into that too, but most of my true friends are straight males. But I still have a lot of friends. I have a lot of straight women friends, and they've always even think that they can express to me, and then they end up not becoming friends because they say dumb shit like, well, if he cheated with a woman, maybe I'll give him a chance or whatever. Or I've been in the relationships or the friendships with these women where their man has cheated with them on a woman and they stay with them. But when the question's asked, if it was a man, would you? It's an absolute no. Mm-hmm. I'm saying he's a cheater regardless.
Right.
Regardless. So leave him alone. Leave him alone. If you don't like cheating and if you don't like other people in your bedroom, again, going back to that polyamory, if you don't mind. Some people give people hall passes or whatever. If it's in his mind to do, because you got to think about it, it's been in his mind. This is a mental thing mixed with a physical thing. It's a yearning that he wants to discover or act out. I would love for the story to be, and I really hope somebody writes in the comments that they've done this or that they're living this truth, where there's a straight man and a straight woman, assumably, and the man says, you know what, I'm thinking about a dude. And she says, well, go discover what that's like. I'll be here in whatever capacity when you find out. Now, whether that's as your wife or girlfriend or friend, we'll figure that out. But because you're human, that's what I'm saying. Go back to the part of we're human. Just respect that I'm human first. And that all these experiences are new. And I just want to gobble up as much experience as I can as long as I'm on God's green earth, right? Go and see what it's about. And I'm not saying just go out and here and hoe and have sex or whatever, but figure out what that intimacy level with a man is like for your own self. And then come on and basically report back to me and we'll figure out where we stand.
I mean, what is it like actually hooking up with someone? It's just like, yo, they present themselves as straight. Everyone they interact with is straight, and they might have a girlfriend, you know, all those things. But for some reason, they're digging you.
Well,
what is that
so
about?
Mine was backwards. So I actually started off with guys. So I didn't go from I'm dealing with the gay guy and having, you know, some type of intimacy, whether that was sexual or just chemistry with the gay guy. No, my first intimate action was with a straight neighbor. You know, I was young, but it was the first thing I knew. It was the thing to go off on. And then from there, there was, and my family members know this to a certain degree. My mom, everybody who counts knows, some don't. But there was a friend I had, excuse me, guys. There was a friend that I had. Excuse me, I'm sorry. His
That's
father came on to me. And it started off as innocent as you could say a grown man presenting the option of having sex with a minor could be. But it was very My Fair Lady-ish. And by that, I mean, he made me feel special. It wasn't tawdry. You know, it wasn't any of that. It wasn't salacious. Oh, this is going to be the talk of the town. Even from my standpoint, I actually avoided him at first because I thought he was going to tell his kids and had them beat me up at school. I did. When he made his first advances, I was like, oh, that seems weird. And, ooh, he is fine. And, ooh, it would be nice. But no, I think this is going to fall back on me bad. And then I would see him out at different social events and different places. And he just said, again, you know, I really would love to give you a massage. And I was like, okay, well, that sounds innocent enough. And my mother was a massage therapist at the time. So massage even being a thing in my household or something I was very used to, I knew that you could have one that was not, you know, sexual. So I told him, yeah, but I kind of knew. And I made it comfortable for him. And, you know, we had a little rendezvous. And that was twice. And then we didn't for any year, a length of years. And it wasn't until I was grown again that, you know, I kind of called him up and said, you know, I'm kind of thinking of you. And he said, I've always thought of you. And, you know, we had another rendezvous and that was it.
So what about like a situation where like you are in control, you're making the choice. This is a conscious choice between you see that he's digging you, and then like the other guy where he's really into you as Bray. Like, I want to get with you, even though it's like, this is not, I'm on the down low, really.
So I met this guy at a gas station. Okay. He asked me for a lighter. I really didn't smoke then, not cigarettes, not weed, anything, but I was in my mom's car, and my mom was a smoker. And I don't know if he's seen the lighter or if that was just his line, but we were at the filling station, like literally up from my house. Cutie too, like had like a little New York vibe, a little hat at the time. You know, everybody was fabulous in the big clothes and Jabot and iceberg, but he was understated, like white t-shirt but some nice crisp jeans. I think they were Jabot if I remember correct. And he had his shoes, hands and feet, y'all. Get you in my bed faster. These are just tips. So he's asked for the lighter and I gave it to him and he lit his cigarette. And this is so unsafe. You light a cigarette at the gas pump, okay? Thinking about it now, right? Wisdom, well, what it gives you. And his talking, he said, you know, I want to chill with you, or however he said it. And I was just kind of taken aback, like, whoa, okay. At that point, I knew, because I had already had these intimate kind of run-ins with guys, that I could be in control. And I told him, okay, you can see me, but I'm going to need to take your number. And I did all the safety stuff to make sure he wasn't crazy or going to abduct me or something. And I first made him take me out on dates. I played it to the field. Like, I think it was to the point where he was about ready to give up on me. It was about 6 months. Well, he thought it was gonna be easy, but I think by that time he had got so comfortable because he was straight. He was totally straight. He did not have children, but he had just broke up from a girlfriend, which was true. I found out all this later. He didn't have a girl at the same time, which I was thankful for. But he just was searching himself, and he had some things that happened in his past that made him question his sexuality. So by the time he meets me, and at this point, because you asked about the control, so this doesn't fall into the timeline. But I was grown then. I was 18, so I'm legal. And I think, oops.
No, it's okay. We can bleep it. We can bleep it. We're never going to say his name. We'll bleep it. Yeah.
I think he was like 26 or something like that. So it was older, but not by yardsticks. And yeah, he made me feel very comfortable. Threw me a little money. That's another reason why I like the boys versus the guys. I could get money from the boys. The girls, they always wanted stuff. Nails done, hair's done, little candies at Valentine's, but the boys would pour into me. So I'm saying if I got to look at this at a financial situation, I'm more encumbered dealing with these girls. Side note. But yeah, that was the first time that I was in control, and I enjoyed it. It felt freeing. He doesn't even know this. I haven't talked to him since we had that little 6, 7, 8 month stint ever again in life. And I really would love to know where he is today. But he set a lot of precedent for everybody that was to follow. And it was a good precedent. It was a certain caliber in which you had to deal with me. And then it helped me because, again, I knew that I could control this.
So what was it about his heart that you appreciated the most?
That he was so honest. Generally black men are not vulnerable. And maybe they are with their wives, and I just don't know that story. But at that time, all I had seen was the hard, be tougher, fight if somebody hits you back, and all that stuff. Just be the rough and gruff. That's the image that TV presented, and that's what a lot of people lived out, even if that wasn't their truth. Whereas him, he was extremely tender, but he was still a man. So that dichotomy actually was very attractive too, because you could be so manly, but then you sit up here literally laying up with me, watching TV and just kicking the bobo.